Hey, it's Judy with Peterson Publishing and Media, and I wanted to bring you another Disrupt video. I'm in Texas, so the other day the governor announced that we will be opening up on May 1st, which is day after tomorrow, and I'm excited about that. I think it's going to be awesome, even though we're not going to be all the way open probably until at least June, but that's a start. I'm excited to get going, and I really hope that you guys are as well. I hope that you guys have been using this time very wisely, and you've been studying new ways to do things, and you've been really trying to get your name out there while you're waiting. I wanted to talk today about the definition of a customer. And the way we feel about our customers and the way we treat our customers is really, really important, because that's how you get people that will stay with you for years and years. When I worked the magazine, I had customers that had been with me almost 20 years. And a lot of them had been with me for at least 10. So you know you're doing something right when you've got that kind of long-term customers. And some of them are still dear friends today. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about how I treat my customers and how people really should be treating their customers. The definition of customer to me is that they are under my protection. So that means that I'm not there to sell them something that they don't need. I'm not there to sell ice cubes to an Eskimo. Anything that I represent or sell, I truly believe in. I truly believe it's the best for that customer. I'm not going to sell something to a customer that doesn't need what I offer or can't use what I offer. That is something that we really need to keep in mind. That's the ethical and the wise way to do sales, because if you screw somebody over, they're not going to stick with you as customers. They're not going to want to send you people. They're not going to want to be friends with you. They're not going to want anything to do with you if you lose their trust. The old saying, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, is truly really a wise thing, because people don't know you. You know, you're putting emails out, you're sending advertisements, you're doing all this stuff, but they don't know you from Adam. So the thing that you want to do is, as you send them things, you want to give them a little bit more trust each time that you speak to them. So the first time you send them an email and say, hey, look out for this next email, or maybe you ask for them to click on something so that they can watch a video. And if in the video you do what you said you were going to do, you promised to tell them what got them to click there in the first place, or you provided them with value and education, maybe the next time you send an email or they're in the click phase, maybe they'll click on something within that. That's something that you need to consider as you're sending out sales pitches and you're talking to people in conversations. You're not really pitching people so much as you're conversating with them. You're trying to find out if they need what you have and to what extent they would need what you have. And the way you do that is you find out what they need. Idea is that the customer is the one who's going to be using your services, and you want them to utilize your service in the proper way. You want them to get the most out of whatever they spend. Obviously, you want them to spend money with you, but that's not something that you should want or need if that's not going to help them, because that's not ethical. Somebody called it aligned self-interest. So if I'm providing you with a certain amount of value, I'm providing you, say, with leads, and those leads provide you with a lot of sales and you're getting money out of them. If you're paying, $1,000 for leads, but you make $5,000 out of the leads, are you going to begrudge me selling you the leads for $1,000? No, of course not. And that goes all the way up. I mean, if you've got a big ticket merchandise or you have a long sales cycle, those sorts of things are really important when it comes to deciding on what services where your company needs. So what I'm really recommending is that you fall in love with your customer. I'm recommending that you care about their kids, you care about their family. That's how they're paying for their family, is by selling whatever they sell or providing whatever service that they provide. If you provide something that takes away from them and it doesn't provide value to them and they can't get more from it, then you're taking food out of their kids' mouths. And that's how you have to look at it. You have to say, I want them to do well. So providing what you can and to make their lives better is something that's really important. Okay, now comes the hard part. You are caring about your customer. You want them to have the very best. You believe your product is the very best and it's exactly what they need. But even though it's aligned self-interest, it's still expensive to start with. So what do? Loving your customer and caring about their business and caring about them, you have to care enough to make the value of your product known to them. They have to understand exactly what that product is going to do for you. And sometimes you have to be persistent to do that. If you know that when you get out of that sale, if they have not bought, they are going to be worse off than they were if they had bought, then you have to care enough to be persistent and to do the work involved to get that sale, because doing what is best for them is making that sale. That is something that I've seen a number of people speak about. That's one of those that is a hard one for people who are in sales to grasp. You can't just take a no because that's not what's best for your client. And so, as I said earlier, client is under my protection and I love my client. I want them to do the best. So to do the best, they need my product. And I don't sell anything that I don't think somebody is going to do well with, that the value is not going to be there. Now, if you have a high ticket sales thing and they can't make enough to cover the cost of it, or even, usually you want at least double the cost so that they make some money from it. If you're trying to sell somebody that's not ethical. That's not loving your customer. That's not what they need. Always treat them with respect. Always care about them. Keep in contact with them. If you've sold them something, don't just drop off the planet. Follow up. Make sure that everything's going well. Make sure that you've got any problems that you know about so that you can fix them for them. That's part of caring for your customer. That's part of making sure that you treat them the way you'd want to be treated. When I'm talking to somebody, I always say, if it was me in that position, I would do XYZ, because I don't sell something that I wouldn't do and use if I were in their situation. So that's something that you really have to keep in mind when you're doing sales to other businesses and to other business to customer. There's always people who maybe if you weren't in a business relationship with them, you wouldn't hang out with and you wouldn't really necessarily want to be around. But that doesn't mean that you can't care about them and their families and their business enough to provide them with a solution that will advance them and make their business grow. That's pretty much it today. I just wanted to touch base and make sure that you guys are hanging in there and hopefully starting to get everything pumped up and ready. A lot of it is attitude and a lot of it is just making sure that you take care of your customer. Thanks. Bye.